Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Launched in 2016, the Breitling Avenger Bandit was the first Avenger chronograph to be rendered in titanium, and on my 16cm circumference wrist, this 45mm titanium watch, eyes closed, feels a bit more like a 41 or a 42. The great gray metal is a wonderful leveler that makes a huge watch wearable on a small wrist. Lug to lug, this one spreads its wings, 55.3 millimeters. I don't recommend the watch for a wrist smaller than 15 centimeters circumference just because it is so broad. It might not look properly seated on the wrist. There would be some overlap. A nice thick Breitling in the traditional sense, 16.5 millimeters, but it has a broad lug spacing of 22 millimeters, so the watch does have a proportional strap to lug junction. It looks nicely balanced in that respect. Now, the case is light on the wrist, wonderfully light in fact, and that's matched with a titanium clasp and a Breitling Diving Pro 3 or Hershey style strap. You can see the imprint of the Breitling logo, which inverts as it approaches the clasp. Now this is a cuttable strap, so you will be able to fine tune it once you own the watch. It's also a new and uncut version of the cuttable strap, so you'll be starting with full length. This is Breitling's best clasp, and I don't know why they don't fit it to every watch with a clasp. Twin trigger release, very solid, machined from a substantial component, and it has a push button slider inside, so it's a little bit like a push button glide lock, combining the best features of Rolex glide lock with Omega's push slider. In fact, it's a little bit more secure than the Omega and a little bit easier to actuate with a bit more travel. I love that system, and with hypoallergenic titanium, I should say, hypoallergenic titanium and a curvature to the clasp itself, it traces the underside of the wrist, so it's a nice ergonomic equation as well. You can see the strap itself is not overly thick, so it does have a wonderful flexibility about it, and the case is all of a satin finish, as you can see, muted. This is grade 2 titanium, so the watch, matte finish or satin finish. It doesn't gleam, it's not glossy, it's not big bling in the classical Breitling form, which is to say, this is a big Breitling you can wear without feeling like you're some sort of celebrity on TMZ. It's also a wonderfully functional arrangement, as you have this captive style bezel, not with the usual 3 or 4 screws, but many. The bezel fixed laterally using screws. You can't accidentally knock it off if you smack it against a door frame, you smack it against a doorknob. It's simply impossible to decapitate this bezel, unlike the snap-on bezel you find on most watches, including Omegas and Rolex. You'll also appreciate the fact that Omega gives, or rather Breitling gives you these riders. You have the rider tabs that make it easy to adjust this unidirectional dive-style bezel with wet, sweaty, or gloved hands, and it can be difficult to grip some bezels. Not the case here. You're never going to slide. Digital style bezel, something that has been a bit of a company mantra and practice, standardized at the company in the last half decade. You'll also appreciate the fact that the dial is matte in its finish to reduce glare. It's a handsome sort of slate blue, matte finish with a white on slate contrast that is exceptionally high and punctuated by a few shocks of red, and I do appreciate the little flourish of color. The watch featuring applique Breitling wing logos, and of course you recognize that 1296 arrangement with the date at 3, and you know what's underneath. It's Breitling caliber B13 or Valjoux 7750 chronograph in COSC chronometer spec. Now this is an aviation themed watch, but it is diveable with a 300-meter depth, constant seconds indicator, unidirectional bezel. The watch is a COSC chronometer, and of course as a 7750 high grade, 25 joules, 28,800 vibrations per hour chronograph function, stop seconds or hacking, and a quick set date. All of this, and it is simply tank tough with efficient unidirectional winding. The watch is wonderfully versatile if you have the wrist for it. So if you like a big watch, you don't want to go full high polish, so you're not necessarily Breitling for Bentley, but you like the presence that comes with a 45mm case. This is a wonderful alternative to Hublot that's built just as well and mechanically spec'd even a bit higher than a standard ETA-powered Big Bang. A handsome watch and not terribly common. This is the 2016 to present Breitling Avenger Bandit. 45mm in titanium. See it and make it yours on the Watchbox. We're back with the Breitling Avenger Bandit. As you can see, the bezel pearl is wonderfully bright for a watch that is ostensibly a pilot's watch. You could dive with this one quite easily.